We're back with Andrew Weissmann on more than one topic. I just heard from Stormy Daniels' lawyer there. As mentioned, her very first lawyer who did this deal was a witness. Her second lawyer, very controversially convicted of crimes, including related to her and dishonesty, which I mentioned. And then he's the third. I'm curious what you thought of everything we heard.
Sure. Well, one thing that's really striking, both with the clip you played from Michael Avenatti and we heard it with Bob Costello, the last defense witness, is I'd always been taught as a lawyer that you have a continuing duty of loyalty to your client. You may no longer represent them, but you can't just get on TV and start besmirching them. At least that's what I thought the ethical rules were. So there's something that just as a lawyer that I'm just sort of stunned because, when you have a client, you have that obligation to them. So, I very much respected your guest. He is representing her and he's not allowed to besmirch her, and he was representing her interests, and other lawyers should not be doing something different. The other thought I had, I was in court for Stormy Daniels' testimony, is the whole case here is about that Donald Trump is accused of not wanting her story to come out. And he had a cross-examination of her that was hammer and tongs. And, her testimony wasn't even all that important to the case. This was just whether she was telling the truth or not was really almost irrelevant, because the issue is, did he want that story to be out there or not? But David Pecker and Hope Hicks, who had very damaging information to give to the jury, they had very light cross-examinations. So in many ways, what you saw with respect to Stormy Daniels was almost a continuation of the reason he didn't want in 2016 this story to come out. He still is adamant in trying to prove that this did not happen and didn't want people to believe it. And you saw it in court, and it's what the actual charge is. And finally, I just think Stormy Daniels did a really good job, particularly on cross-examination, in humanizing herself and making people understand who she is. And she was wicked smart, as the young kids say.
Yeah, I think all that's fair. And for the jury that was getting this narrative, as you say, to hear from her as a person was important. And I think the DA scored points as well by being very clear. There were stories that were false. There was a doorman story, which they said very clearly in the opening arguments. You're going to hear about other things they did that were false. Their point was not, hey, we're just throwing everything at Donald Trump for no reason. But if he's going to be lying about this and his lawyers are going to be, as they are allowed to do, presenting a different story, you're going to hear from the witness herself. So that was striking. And